we're going to talk to you about how we instruct people to do the plank exercise. So the plank is still one of our foundational exercises when it comes to anterior core stability. A lot of people want to progress through this or overutilize the plank, and it is an important exercise to master, but once you get it down, we really need to progress you beyond that. However, we find most people really don't have the necessary core strength or even body awareness to properly achieve a plank. And so we're going to talk a little bit about some of the flaws that we see with the basic plank exercise, how we can modify it, and then ultimately what you can do to progress. So the plank, again, it is an anterior core exercise, meaning we're going to be working the front side of your core, and even the external obliques here on the sides are very important stabilizers in a plank because we're trying to control pelvic tilt and extension through your low back. So when the abs give out on the front side, a lot of us will slip into a tilt and we get a big arch in our low back, and what you'll see is a big dip when somebody's down in the plank. Sure, they can hold it for 2, 3, 4 minutes, but they're not really achieving optimal core stability like we want them to. They're hanging on their hip flexors in the front side and their low back extensors, or even bracing by mashing their vertebrae together to create stability. This is definitely not optimal, and when it comes to people who are trying to perform their best, whether it be an athlete or somebody in our gym, this is not an optimal stability pattern, and it really changes a lot of things. Changes how they breathe, changes their stabilization strategy, and ultimately their position and posture, which can negatively affect anything that they're going to do from that point on once they assume a inefficient posture. So we use PVC pipe in the beginning just to create some awareness, and so most people will agree that when we line our butt back and head up, we're in a pretty good posture. It's nice and straight, there's minimal curvature in my low back, my head is against the stick, and I've got normal curves through the spine. However, when we go down to a plank, a lot of people are unable to achieve this, and so I'll show you what this looks like. First, one of the most common ones we see is the low back dip, and we see a lot of loss of the curvature there, but they're able to keep their upper back and head against the spine. When a lot of people go to fix this, what will happen is they'll tilt forward, then dropping their head and rounding their upper back. When people have to get all 3 points of contact in a plank, it becomes very, very difficult. And even when some people can achieve that, their stabilization strategy is to then gulp air and use that to create stability. What we want in our plank is the ability to hold a nice optimal position with the spine while maintaining our breathing. So we want to separate this stable structure from our breathing. If people really struggle, we'll start with them on their back. And so the floor now becomes the PVC pipe. It's providing me with a lot of extra stability, and it's going to allow me to maintain a nice long posture. And so from here, we'll go into dead bug exercises or even single leg lowers if we're trying to separate hip motion from back motion, as if trying to teach somebody to hinge. Once they can achieve that, we may start them in a plank. However, we may go with what's called a baby plank or a short lever plank. So we'll set people up on their knees and just have them hold this for 10 to 15 seconds. And we give them 3 cues. It's cheeks, chest proud, and chin down. And if they can achieve that without riding their shoulders up, without rounding, we'll have them just rep it out for about 10 to 15 seconds at a time to see if they can really learn to manage this position. And again, we'll take the PVC pipe up to them, see how their alignment is, and then from there we'll progress to a normal plank. Once somebody can get about 6 to 10 breaths in a plank, breathing low and slow without their posture changing, we'll start to progress. And there's a multitude of ways to progress. We can start to create instability, we can elevate the feet, we can get limbs moving, a number of variations. But this is the foundation. If you're unable to get a plank with the PVC or with a nice straight back, it's unlikely you're going to be able to plank enough to really find that position. And so we recommend that you do start on your back and work with some of the dead bug variations. There's a lot of those as well, and they'll kill your core and really teach you how to create a nice stable cylinder through the middle without popping into rib flare, without your low back extending in the plank, without your head dropping. It'll keep you honest, and it'll make sure that you really develop the core stability that you need to achieve a great plank. Once you get there, you can use the baby planks really as a primer in your warm-up. Sometimes we do that just to get the body to kind of understand the stabilization that we're asking, and it makes it easier for people to manage their spine position when they're going into more demanding core exercises after their warm-up. So this has been our demonstration on the plank. I hope you've got a better understanding of what we're looking for and how you can achieve your best plank. I'm Ryan Patrick with Peak Fitness and Sports Training. Make sure you check out our website.